All right, we are live and we got another episode back to back. We had a podcast yesterday, but we have another one here, kind of last minute, but I'm glad we're able to do it. Um, Valhalla or nothing. How we doing, man?
We are doing good. I'm doing very well today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for doing this. And Steven here is a recent Twitch affiliate. So
hmm
big congrats on that. And then he's also part of our Pro Club streamer group where we play Pro Clubs with fellow Twitch FIFA streamers. So yeah.
Those are fun. We gotta find a way to get that going again.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. We only done it like twice, but the times that
Yeah,
we did do it, it was a lot of fun. So I've
they
enjoyed
were a
it.
lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, when did you start streaming, and what made you want to get into it?
So I started streaming. Well, I got the idea to start streaming back in February when I got my capture card,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have webcam. But I just knew I needed a capture card in order to actually stream from my PS4 to make it go through my laptop.
Right.
But I've always wanted to stream since high school, I believe, when I started watching more YouTubers, do gameplay, things like that, got into Twitch, and I was just watching a lot of different people streaming, and I was just like, at some point in life, this would actually be great to do, like, as a career, or just something on the side something that, like, actually goes with hobbies of mine. Like,
Right.
I've always loved playing video games, and I love the variety of games that I can play, that I can stream. And and being able to meet others is also a great perk to streaming, because when I've streamed, I've had people from Norway join my stream. I've had some people from the Czech Republic, uh, people from Australia. So it's always fun meeting people from around the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of cool that you could meet people from all around the world. They just kind of tune in, and
hmm
yeah, they're just they're just from all different parts of the world, and you could interact with these people. You know,
Yeah,
but
it's amazing how we can all connect on one single site.
yeah, for real, man. But how long did it take you to reach affiliate? Because I feel like you got there pretty quickly.
So I believe I did my first stream at like the beginning of either at the beginning of February or mid February. Oh no, it wasn't the beginning. It was mid February because I got back from an underway then.
Hmm.
And once I got back, I did one stream, and then I went off for about 5 days to visit my brother and my sister-in-law. Came back and then left the next day. I got back home and flew to San Diego to meet up with my parents and my family for a few weeks. So after the first time I streamed, it was about 3 weeks before I had my next one.
Hmm.
And once I got back, I streamed again in March, very beginning of March. And then once I did that, I kind of just kept on, trying to get the streams going and going and going, because by the time I got back, I had a few days left in the military, and I wasn't spending much time at work. So when I'd get home from work, I would get changed, get everything set up, and just start streaming for about 4 or 5 hours a day,
Hmm.
just doing
Got it.
what I could, because I knew I could probably get the followers up, and the days are easier to get done, same as the hours of streaming. The only problem was getting like the average viewership.
Right. Yeah, that's the toughest part, I would say. And so then from that point on, when you started like streaming 4 or 5 times a week, how long did it take you to hit that affiliate mark?
Let's see. After I did 1 week where I streamed every day for about 4 or 5 hours. And then after I did that, I felt like a little burnt out, because even for someone who is not affiliate or someone who's like new to streaming, doing a week straight of streaming for 4 or 5 hours, even 4 or 5 hours, like can make someone exhausted.
Right.
But doing it for a week just kind of goes. It kind of like I was burnt out for a little bit, so I had to take a bit of a break.
Yeah.
So I took a bit of a break and then started up again, just doing like getting my 8 wins for rivals for FIFA, qualifying for weekend league, then doing my weekend league matches, and then started doing art. Then I started working on an RTG, and I
Mm-hmm.
realized people were actually tuning in more for my RTG content than for like my main team,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe it was I think it was either the second or the third Friday of March where I finally got my RTG team qualified, and I had more viewers coming in to watch that than I did for my main squad.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
Um,
all in all, I think it took me a month or maybe a little over a month to get affiliate of like
okay.
actually grinding streaming.
Yeah, I would consider that pretty quick. I mean, like when I started, it took me like 3 months. But then for me, like I'm starting like straight from scratch. Like I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know any other streamers. Like I really didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The only connections I really had were Sterling and Güero,
Uh-huh.
because Güero just started streaming this last September,
Right.
and me and Sterling have been friends since high school. Not even high school, since 8th grade.
Uh-huh.
Like me and him have lived together, and like me and him have always talked about like getting stream, like actually becoming streamers, everything like that. So when he
Right.
finally started, and then he started up again, having those two like to help support me made it a lot easier to, I believe it's because of them, because of you, Koballa, and even Johnny, for always putting my name out there, helping me out, getting the followers, getting the viewers,
Yeah.
which I believe is why I probably got affiliate so quickly.
Right. Yeah, it helps when you have like other streamers that you know
Mm-hmm.
and they'll support you if you've supported them in the past. And you definitely supported me too, so I appreciate you, man. Just coming in and, you know, blessing us with your presence and your subs. No, seriously, it means a lot. Like, and then we also play pro clubs together, so we
Mm-hmm.
always have a good time just hanging out.
Yeah, yes we do.
Um, yeah. And speaking of Sterling, for the viewers that don't know who Sterling is, it's Long Shot Curve, and we had
Mm-hmm.
him in a previous episode in the podcast, and that's a great podcast too. So y'all should check that out. Um, but how'd you meet Wero?
So I actually met Wedo through Sterling, and that's how I also met Matt, Lord of Clout, who you
Uh
might
huh.
have seen in your streams or in Sterling streams.
Right.
I met those two through Sterling by playing FIFA, because I believe it
Okay.
was FIFA 20. Was it 2019? No, actually, I think it was FIFA 20. I met them through pro clubs because Sterling invited me. He's like, because me and him were talking, was like, I wish I had like people to play pro clubs with,
Mm-hmm.
because like all I knew was just me and him who played. He's like, there's actually me and like another group of friends that I play with. If you want to join us, I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
And then that's how I actually met them, and we just been playing pro clubs ever since, hanging out, and it was just really fun to actually play pro clubs with people
Right.
and not have to do like drop-ins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I asked that question is because I met you guys through Rero. Um, and I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
remember if you were there on that stream, but this was earlier in FIFA 22 when I think Rero first started streaming, but I matched up with them in weekend league, and I noted.
I do remember that, because I think he was telling us on our Snapchat group how he I think how he went up against you, and then I think after that I think he rated you as
Uh huh.
well.
Uh huh.
So yeah, I remember that. That was early FIFA 22.
Yeah, it was like we were playing. It was qualifiers. I was trying to qualify, and then if I
Mm-hmm.
had one more loss, then I wouldn't be able to qualify. And then it was a really sweaty match. And then at halftime, I noticed he had the TTV. So
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, I just looked him up on Twitch and he was live. And then I just, during the game, I was like interacting with him in chat. And it ended up being like a really sweaty game, like 0-0, and it went to pens. And then he beat
Oh,
me. But yeah, after that, it was just cool interacting with him. And then there was another time after that where we actually played pro clubs together. I don't know if you remember that. You guys like invited me to your pro clubs, and that's where I got to meet you and Sterling and Matt.
I believe because I think there's been a few times where you've played pro clubs with us, but it wasn't like anything, but it wasn't like a scheduled thing. We were just like, should we invite Koballa? Like, is there anyone else we think we should invite? Like, I mean, because we was like think about it, it's like who else could we invite? Because most of the time it's just us four, and
Mm-hmm.
we usually always go against people teams with 7, 8, maybe sometimes even a full pro clubs team. And we are like, well, it wouldn't hurt to try and get like one more person. So we started thinking, we're like, I think it was Wero who suggested like, hey, should we invite Kobala? We're like, yeah, let's invite him. Like, because we've seen you play, we know that you're a good FIFA player. So we're like, yeah, he would probably be really good for our team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I remember playing with you guys that one time, the first time, and it was a lot of fun. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I mean, in terms of pro clubs though, like what I've been doing as of late is I'd have some streams just set aside for pro clubs, and I would
Mm-hmm.
just have anybody that wants to just drop on in and just be in our team. I would just play pro clubs with them. All they would need to do is just follow,
Yeah.
and usually like the viewership for those streams have been like a lot better than the other ones. I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that, and a lot of people tune in. Either they just want to hop on in and play, or I
Yeah.
don't
A
know, maybe
lot,
they
a
like playing pro
lot.
clubs.
I find it interesting that a lot of
Uh huh.
people actually like playing pro clubs. And I believe pro clubs has always been like probably one of the best features for FIFA, but
Hmm.
EA just don't do a lot with it, and that probably makes most of us upset because pro clubs could be so much better than how it is right now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the money that they get from Ultimate Team, so they would rather just invest their time in that.
I mean, I think the thing with Ultimate Team is like they push so much through it, but still they still probably get more complaints about the Ultimate Team than they do about pro clubs.
Right. Uh
Despite
huh.
it making them money, it's just like pro clubs, you're not really getting anything, but when everyone gets tired of Ultimate Team, they go to pro clubs.
Hmm.
So why not, try and do better with pro clubs so that way, you do keep those fans entertained enough to be like they're not just completely quitting FIFA. They're at least, going to somewhere else.
Yeah. What improvements do you think could be made in pro clubs?
And for me, I would say I think it's how we're getting skill points right now because I'm not a big fan of having to level up, especially when it's 40,000, 50,000 XP and you're only getting at best 1200 XP every game. That's if you're getting like a 10.0, match rating. And, in previous FIFAs, it's been based on how many games you've played
Mm.
determines the how many skill points you get. So like play 50 games, now you get this many skill points instead of, leveling up. It's you once you play a certain amount of games, there's just no more skill points you can really get. But instead of, cutting it off, might as well because I believe like there's probably no cap for the leveling in pro clubs. Unless there is, and I just haven't I haven't looked it up yet.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
instead of no,
Go ahead.
you can. So like instead of like leveling up, just make it like play after like 250 games played, you can't get any more you can't get any more skill points because you've almost like maxed out your characters, like whatever attributes you really want for them.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then what I also noticed too is that the attackers, if you score goals and get assists, those are you get more XP as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
people who play on the defense. So like you have to be an
Yeah.
attacker to
Mm-hmm.
raise your XP a lot faster. So the way it's
Yeah.
kind of set up, it's like it's not really fair. Then what about people who like playing defense more? It's gonna take them longer to level up.
Yeah. For like when we do those pro club streams, you're sitting back at CDM. Me and Sterling are sitting back in the defense,
Yeah.
and most everyone else is attacking, and a lot of your XP is based on just the overall match along with certain stats and attacking and defending. Like yes, you can max up those defending, but if you're a box to box cam or center mid, you're getting both basically, and you're getting as much XP as possible.
Mm-hmm. Right. So maybe going back to the way it was before might be better off as opposed to how do you level up now.
Yeah. Another thing is like the how positions affect stats, same as like height, weight, because like as we see in Ultimate Team, you have your short players that have great shot power, but in pro clubs it doesn't correspond at all. Like you have a short
Mm.
player, they have no shot power.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a top player, they do have shot power, but they have no pace.
I see.
I just think that because like in FIFA, you can actually create your own pro and customize their stats how you want them and use them in like single player, I believe.
Yeah.
Only like offline single player, not like online.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you can customize their stats. You can max them out all the way if you want, or you can max out a few stats to make it more, well, not too overpowered, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I wish they would do something like that at the beginning, to where it's like, all right, you have this amount of points. You are allowed to only put this amount in, and you have your pace, your passing, your dribbling, your shooting. You have all those base stats, and you're allowed to up each one as much as you want until you hit that cap, and then after that, it's then having you're required to earn skill points in order to make your player better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be interesting to implement, and maybe we'll be better off with that if we had that in pro clubs. Do you actually? What's your favorite position to play in pro clubs? Do you like playing more attacker, or you like being more on the defensive end?
I think it honestly depends on the day sometimes. Like, I think it just depends on how many people we have. Like, if
Okay.
we're only playing with 3 or 4 people, I love being on the attack. But like, say if we're playing with 6 or 7, I'm more than fine with playing at center back, because I know, AI defenders, if someone's controlling them, they're not the best. So I have no problem being, a center back to help out the defense to make sure we don't concede as many goals as we should be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah,
honestly fun playing in the back too. It makes me miss playing soccer in real life.
for sure. Yeah. I usually like playing like the CDM fullback position.
Mm-hmm.
I have a right back build, but I use that right back build to play right back or uh CDM, CM.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because obviously people like to play attacking more. So I kind of if I play with other people, I let other people play the attacking positions, and I'll just sit back and set people up and play a little bit of defense.
Yeah, I just think it's funny how most of the people you'll get sometimes, like just the new people, they're like, "Oh, can I join?" Or like, "Oh, yeah, 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 sure. What position do you play?" Striker. Like almost everyone who's playing right now just plays striker.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
no one wants to play in the midfield, no one wants to play in the back. it's like everyone wants to play striker.
Yeah. And for me, I actually like playing like CDM or fullback.
Hmm.
Like it's fun. It's fun for me, and it doesn't feel as much pressure. I feel like strikers, there's more pressure because you got to score.
Yeah, it's actually funny because I've slowly like gone from midfield to striker over the past few FIFAs.
Hmm.
Because in FIFA 20, I just played in the midfield with them and um let's see, Weddle and Matt would play up top and Sterling would be playing any and I would just, I made a short build mostly because I was told, hey, this is the meta, go ahead and do it. So I made a 5'4", 99-pound uh player and I was just playing the midfield. I would just be running up and down the field constantly.
Hmm.
And by the 70th minute, just be drained of stamina.
Yeah.
And every time I got skill points, I put it in pace and then I update and then I try to max out my stamina as best as possible. So that way I could, survive longer in the games.
Uh huh. For sure. When's the last time you played pro clubs?
It's been a few weeks.
Okay. Has it been since our pro club stream?
No, I believe when was the last time? I think it was last last Saturday or Sunday. Me, Sterling, and Kane all hopped on together.
Mm-hmm.
I think we played with Tito as well.
Okay.
It was after it was either no, it was during Sterling's stream. It was at the tail end of his stream that we started playing. And I think that was last weekend.
Are you guys still in Div 2 or have you guys moved up?
I believe we're still in Div 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it sucks that we're stuck in Div 2 just because like in the past two FIFAs that I played with them, we've won Div 1 at this time already at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like FIFA 20, like I joined up with them. They were already like Div 3, Div 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, well, brand new pro clubs player. Haven't played pro clubs in years, so
Yeah.
let's see how this goes. And I played with them. I got better, and then we won Div 1 10 times since I joined them.
Yeah.
And then last year, same thing. We won Div 1 numerous times. And this FIFA, it's been a pain because I guess we just haven't been playing it as much. And, all the people we're going against are people who've probably been playing this for a lot longer than us, who have a lot better stats and everything.
Right. For sure. Yeah, I've started playing like 21. I mean, I was
Mhm.
introduced to it in FIFA 20, but I kind of started playing a little bit more in 21 towards the end of uh the game when Ultimate Team was pretty much
Like,
done.
like after the team of season's over, it's like
Right.
there's not much more. There's really no more content on FIFA after that.
Right. So, played a little bit more then, and then this year I've like kind of implemented more into my
Hmm.
streams and set aside some days where it's just for pro clubs with viewers, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. um and you have like a couple new people that come on in for the first time, and then you have the usual crew, some of the guys. So a mixture of both, but it's been fun just having to play that this year.
Yeah, the last time we did the Streamers Pro Clubs, within the first 15 minutes on my stream, two people came in and asked, "Oh, can I join? Can I join?" And I think it was at the stage to where like it was just the beginning, so we didn't know who all was or was not showing up.
Hmm.
So it kind of sucks having to tell people no sometimes,
Right.
just
Yeah.
because you don't know if there's gonna actually be any spots available. But if anyone like does come in during those times, it's like I don't know if you'll be able to join us or not, but if you would like, you can stick around and find out to
Yeah.
see if you can join or not. I think I'm pretty sure both of them left because if they did stay at one point in the stream, we actually did allow, viewers to actually join us and be like, who wants to come play? We have these roles open.
Yeah, for sure. And like I know there are other streamers out there that just do pro clubs, That's like pretty much all they do, and a lot of
Hmm.
people do tune in and follow those streamers. And part of the reason I've implemented that because I thought, oh, it'll just bring a lot of viewership and
Hmm.
maybe get more people to just tune on in.
Yeah, I've had a little idea of creating a goalkeeper build and practicing in drop-ins.
Uh huh. You know what's funny? When I played pro clubs yesterday, we had a guy that played pro clubs competitively for like 7 years, but he played keeper.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, but he dropped in and played any, and he had his own striker build, and he was playing from Scotland, but he was
Oh
he was actually pretty
wow.
good. Yeah, he played pretty well for us. So um, shout out to Josh. I don't know if he's listening, but yeah, it's pretty funny. Like you play competitive pro clubs, but you play keeper. Like
That's very interesting.
yeah, and then he showed me like his one highlight of him doing like a quad save. It was like an insane clip of him just saving all these shots
Wow.
in one sequence. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I mean that's probably a great feeling for a goalkeeper, not so
Right.
much for the
Uh-huh.
other team.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, well, let's shift gears from pro clubs into Ultimate Team.
All
And I
right.
know you kind of told me about your main team and your RTG, what you're doing with that. So what you told me was you're focused more on your RTG now as opposed to your main account, right?
Yeah, that's mostly because of this past weekend league.
Okay. So what happened this past weekend league?
So I played my RT. So I qualified my RTG team Thursday. And then after that, that's when I updated the team that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And, Friday I played with them, and Fridays are some of the hardest days to actually play weekend league because a lot of those sweats are out to play. They really want those wins, or the people who really love their rat tactics will come in and do nothing but run down the side and just try easy goal it in. But my team played phenomenally, which was a shock to me because I didn't expect them to play so well. Because the first weekend league it was really rough. I did 10 games on the Friday and 10 games on Saturday. The Friday I played, that team went 2-8, which is not great. And then the next day that team went 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, why couldn't I get this? Why couldn't I get to see these games on Friday? And then to how much I've done with them, and then playing this past weekend league, going 11-9, which is so much better. It was outstanding and a relief to see that my team can actually beat these god squads that there are at this point in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And my team is very much what people would consider just a fodder team because there's no one like actually like insane. There's no Ronaldinho, there's no Pele, there's no nothing. There's no card like that on my team.
Yeah, you already showed me your team on stream. Maybe you could tell the viewers who you have right now.
All right. So I have to make 3 subs at the beginning of the game, and I
Uh-huh.
usually sub in the I want to say the flashback moments Aubameyang, his Arsenal SBC card. I sub in Foot Captain's Koke, and I sub in Foot Birthday Di Lorenzo, and I play the 4-1-2-1-2 Nero,
Mm-hmm.
and my strikers are Foot Captain's Tadic with Aubameyang up top. My cam is man of the match Bergwies. My midfield consists of Koke playing as left center mid. My right center mid playing as Gold Goretzka, and my CDM is the road to the knockout stage Gravenberch.
Mm-hmm.
And then my defense consists of my left back is actually Di Lorenzo as a right, who plays as a right back. My center backs is the rule breaker Klosterman with foot captains Boyeta, and I have the road to the knockout stage Mukulele,
Hmm.
and then my keeper is Castiles, who is funny that no one ever uses them. They only use them as SBC fodder.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
he actually is a good goalkeeper.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that is a solid team that you crafted in like a month or so, or was it more than that?
I got let's see, I got Aubameyang in my first few weeks of having the team, and then I got Koke when Foot Captains One was out, so a few weeks ago. And then it was this past week that I got Tadic and Boyata. Those two were on those getting those two was surprising none the least, because it's when the 81 plus player picks came out for the SBCs, and I crafted um 20 of them, I believe.
Hmm.
I crafted 20 of them, and in the first five, I end up getting Foot Captain's Boyata,
Yeah.
and then later on that same day, I'm doing rivals games. I go and collect the objectives, and I noticed that, oh, well, I leveled up, might as well go claim that reward, and it was just a 75 plus gold player pack. And I was like, all
Hmm.
right, well, I usually get nothing good in these, so I ripped it open. All of a sudden, I get a Foot Captain's Tadich.
Yeah, big dubs. That's a huge dub right there.
And then I just I put both of them on my bench, and I already have the team that I already use. And then Thursday rolled around last week, and I was just like, there's got to be a way that I can incorporate these two into the team, along with like a Aubameyang that I have, and Di Lorenzo, who I got on Thursday as well, actually, because I did the campaign bag
Hmm.
and got him out of it. Yeah, that's what I got him out of. I got him out of the campaign bag last week, and I was like, I have a handful of like these actually good players, but I'm only using one of them. What if I try to incorporate like all of them, but I'll have to pause at the beginning of the game and actually make subs.
Hmm. Yeah.
I was just because I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna build a team with these two in it, get chemistry around them, get as many player, and then only make it to where I only really need to make 3 subs in the team, which would be Di Lorenzo, Aubameyang, and Koke.
Yeah.
And then I built the team, and I was just like, all right, I know the players I'm subbing out. So at the beginning of every game, I have to hit pause. And I hate having to do it, but it is what it is, because it annoys me when other people do it. But
Hmm.
I'm not doing it to, quit. I'm doing it to, change the team up.
Right. For sure. And there's someone in our chat and just want to say hi to FIFA King. Thanks for being in here. Um, so then what about your main then? Are you done with your main? Are you just not playing with that anymore, or will you go back to it?
I'm not I'm not done playing with my main.
Okay.
It was so Saturday was really rough with them, and I just don't understand why, because my no, because my main team just looks really, really good on paper. But Saturday, when I was trying to use them for weekend league, it was like nothing was working. None of them wanted to play at all. And then, the day before that, I'm playing with my RTG, and they are playing on a whole new level. They're playing like every game was like that game that they needed to win in order for me to get to the next rank.
Hmm.
That's how it felt. But with my main on Saturday, it just felt like like passes weren't being completed. Defenders weren't, marking the right guy, or EA was working against me where I wasn't switching to the right person, or my players just weren't doing what I wanted them to do tactically. Because both my strikers, Defoe and Puskas, are supposed to like get in behind the team, and more times than not, they kind of like just stood on their back line and just made no runs. And I need an option. So I spent so much of the time, passing around my midfield and just slowly working the ball up, instead of being able to do like a fast build up to where I can pass out of my back into my CDM to Cam, and then Cam over the striker,
Mm-hmm.
and just work some 1-2s around and then get a shot,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
or work it up from my back, get to the midfield, see Defoe or Puskas, making a run in, and I just send a lob, through ball to them. So for a possible shot, or to like hold the ball up while the rest of the team comes up.
Yeah.
It was nothing was working on Saturday, and it was really aggravating.
Got it. Who else do you have in your main besides those guys?
So it's the what was the end of the era Defoe, right? That was his
Mm-hmm.
SBC.
Yeah.
So I have him. I have mid Puskas. I have moments. Oh, I probably should say what formation I use. 4-1-2-1-2 narrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically my go-to formation at this point in the game. Uh, I have uh, prime moments Nedved as my cam. I love him. I use Foot Captain's Noble as my left CM, and I use the Winter Wildcards Alwar as my right CM, and my CDM would be Prime Balak. My back line is Team of the Year Cancelo as my left back, Prime Rio Ferdinand as my center back with Future Stars Kunate, and I have headliners Klaus as my right back with who's my keeper? Oh, yeah, second in form Lafont as my keeper.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good team. Very good team. What was your best finish in weekend league this year?
So my best finish has been rank 4, going 14-6.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Have you hit that multiple times or just once?
I think I've only hit it twice. Set. I've gotten close. Uh, 2 weeks ago, I got really close. I went 13-7. I lost my final game.
That's pretty good. I mean, I've still yet to hit rank 4, man.
It's difficult to get past
Yeah.
rank 5
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah.
it's usually every weekend I hit rank 5. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, my best finish was like 12-7. 12 wins was like the best I got. So, I'm trying, but I don't know if I'll hit it, to be honest. Seems out of my stretch.
yeah. I feel like the only people who get rank 4 are better are the ones who play like sweats, who like you will get that one goal lead and just play drop back defense for the
Mhm.
whole game and just make it too difficult for you to score. Or it'll be like that player who is one goal up and you're in the 80th minute, so they'll just waste time in the back or in the corner
Mhm.
to secure their win. Because I was just seeing that, I'm just like, I hate that kind of play because I don't sit back, I don't drop back. Like I keep my defense the same way. I'm always gonna be on the attack. I'm always gonna be on the tag. I'm not gonna waste time. But I feel like if I just push my pride deep down and I don't worry about it and I start wasting time like that, I could probably actually get more wins that way.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times I will be that one goal up and then I concede in the 90 in like the 88th minute, the 90th minute. And I'm just like, if I actually just held the ball, that's a win. And then I go on to lose in extra time or I lose in the pens. And I'm just like, I shouldn't have lost this game at all.
Mhm. Yeah, that happens to me a lot too.
And it's annoying when it happens.
Right? Yeah. The same feeling every time. Um but so then have you seen the content that they released today? And any
Let's
thoughts
see.
on they released
Um,
swaps?
yes, I did. Oh yeah, that is right. They did release swaps, and swap the swaps that you can get, I think, are actually really worth it, because for 17 tokens you can get a 93 plus attacker or midfielder. And when you look at it, there's not many of them that can go around that isn't a really good player that you could have. And
Mm,
then, or you can get a prime Hullet, which would be amazing as
right.
well. But I think the rewards you could get from the icon swaps is actually pretty good this go around.
It is pretty good. Yeah, I agree. I looked at all the rewards and they all seem pretty good. Do you know what you want to go for?
I'm not sure. Mostly, like I haven't grinded foot swaps. I think since last FIFA,
Oh,
but I
really?
think
Okay.
I think for the RTG's sake, I will try to grind out as much as possible
Got it.
because
Um,
because my goal for my RTG is to make it the best it absolutely can be. And I feel like once I start, getting those icons into the team, I can actually start mix and matching a whole bunch more leagues, so that way I'm not having to constantly like sub in players that I would much rather have starting than uh 80 left back max that I have to sub out right at the beginning of the game for a foot birthday Di Lorenzo.
mhm. Yeah. Um, I like the 8425 for 3, and then I
Yeah.
believe the 15 swaps is like a attacker mid player, or it's like a moments player pick, I think. I got to double check. It is a player pick though.
And then yesterday they came out with the prime icon prom prime icons player pick,
Right.
which I've been seeing mixed things about because it is actually for an icon pick, it is actually very cheap.
Yeah.
It's an 84 rated, 285s, and an 86, which is so surprising that like because I think I was watching a YouTube video with Swayback and how this is only costing like 350K for a prime icon. And if you got that luck getting that prime Pele, a prime Hullet, prime Cruyff, you're packing a over million coin player for only 350K for doing it from scratch or maybe free.
Mhm.
So in my eyes, I feel like I feel like this because it's every icon pack, it can be worth it or it can be like an absolute dud. I
Right.
think it's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and it's a prime too, so it's like at this point of FIFA, it's like, do you really want a prime? I'm like eyeing moments, especially with the
Yeah.
swaps that just came out. It's like all these really nice rewards for like moments icons, so it's like,
And if
mm,
you
mm-hmm.
and I think the best part about this too is like say you get all these icon swaps, you could possibly do like both your prime icon picks for absolutely bare minimum. And if you have two of them, you have a 50% chance of getting something a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that video with Swayback, there's a guy who did two of them, and he got some of the best players you could prime wise. He got
Yeah,
prime Eusebio and prime Ronaldo, like back to back. And I'm just like, how are you that lucky? So
oh,
like there's always that chance of getting something outstanding that you don't need their moments card because their prime is still really good in this stage of the game still.
that is true. Yeah, so I mean, you could take the chance and hope to get like the meta prime
Mm-hmm.
icon, but I mean, what's the likelihood, right?
Apparently for some people it's better than
Right?
others.
I mean, I seen one with he had Prime, Pele, and R9.
Yeah, I was watching. Oh yeah, last night I was watching Run the Foot Markets
Uh huh.
video, and he had like three or four people pull prime Ronaldinho.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
One guy got Pele, another guy got Ronaldo, and it's just like, where's my luck?
Right? Um.
Because like the my best icon pull has been that mid Puskas by far because he was the most expensive card that I've pulled Second would be you know, prime Wayne Rooney.
Okay. My best pulls are probably a baby Puskas from a preview pack and
Oh,
a prime Kaka.
oh God, I would love Kaká.
Yeah.
Last, it was either last FIFA or two FIFAs ago. I packed Moments Kaká
Mhm.
from an untradeable pack.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
but my best icon pull, like throughout all the FIFAs that I've actually packed an icon, would be mid it last year.
middle it. Okay. I don't know which would be my best icon pull ever. I don't remember. I guess it had to be Puskas or Kaka this year because I don't even remember. And the fact that I don't even remember means they probably weren't that good.
Yeah, because my I because I did last year. I did a lot of. Well, I don't think I did as many icon SBCs last year as I have done this year, but last year I did a good amount because I kept getting really good pulls like back to back to back, and I was just like, oh my god, like I'm just gonna keep doing them until I get something bad, and eventually I got something bad. But I think for my first few, I packed Roberto Carlos, Carlos Alberto, Hullet, and Van der Sar were like my first four packed. And then after that, I think I packed something bad, like I think I packed like a Bird Camp or a Clivert,
Hmm.
something that just wasn't fitting the team or something that was so out of the meta that I couldn't use them at all.
Hmm.
And yeah, the worst part was like they were all at the beginning of FIFA, so it was like it was like their baby or their mid card too.
Yeah.
Except for Hullet though. Hullet's mid card just played the whole thing. I never once subbed him out. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
He was always in the starting 11 no matter what.
Yeah. Uh huh. Absolutely. Um. So then, what are your plans with streaming and content creating? Do you have any like goals right now that you're going for?
Um so every month I'm gonna have a sub goal of at least 10 subs. I feel like it might be a little low, but at the same time it's like, my average viewership's anywhere between like 3 to 5 viewers.
Hmm.
Not everyone gonna come in is gonna sub. So I think like 10's a good base number to have a goal. And we actually reached our goal this last weekend and went over. Right now we're sitting at 12 out of 10 subs,
Hmm.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, well, now that I work, I'm trying to work out a schedule around it because not every week's going to be the same, because there are some days like this week like I have today off, I have Thursday and Friday off, but next week it could be flipped. Next week I could only have Tuesday and Wednesday off and then have the weekend off.
Yeah.
So a lot of my schedule is going to be working around like how I see it on Sunday, and then try to work something out like that.
Hmm. For sure.
uh content wise I have a lot of ideas content wise. It's just whether or not they'll actually work. Like for FIFA, it's just it's my RTG and my main for right now. For my main, I think I'm going to use it for more like SBCs and stuff, because I can get fodder on that and kind of like just load up packs or whatever I need to do for it. For my RTG, it's going to be like a hybrid. It's going to be, all right, we're like, we don't have that many coins, but we got these really good players, so where we can play games, we can win games. So a lot of it's going to be gameplay, and then it's going to be, all right, do we have the fodder? And if we have the coins, in case like we need to buy some players in order to do these SBCs.
Hmm.
Because I think, like, I wish I could right now, but from RTG I can't do that prime player pick yet, because I felt like for my RTG, if I was able to do it, I would take any. Well, no. I'm not gonna say I would take any card. I would take any decent card, because there are those prime players that you absolutely just do not want, like an Inzaghi or a Deco. Like there are some players, even their moments, you don't want to use.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I think I would take a very good, decent prime icon and be able to put it into my RTG, so that way um there's like, some part of the team where, okay, I don't have to worry much about Cam right here because I know I have them and they're going to link every player together right there.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. And I'm sure you would probably want to hit the 100 follower mark, right? And then go from there as well.
Yeah, that we're getting there. We're getting there. I
Yeah.
would like to hit 100 followers, hopefully by mid year.
Yeah.
So about few months from now, I would like to be at 100 followers. I'm hoping by the end of this year, like me, like everyone in our Twitch group, basically, I hope we all like just grow so much to where we're all looking at over 100 followers or maybe 200 followers, and then no, we're looking at each one of us individually having like 50 plus subs by the end of the year as well,
Right.
maybe 100 even.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
But
great. I wish that yeah, I wish all of us just grow and we get a lot more support and yeah, a bigger following.
yeah, like because I've jokingly said this in other streams,
Mhm.
even my own, to where it's like, yeah, we're gonna be Sidemen 2.0. Because
Man,
that
yeah.
because that's the dream I kind of have at this point right now, because we actually have a good group of us like together who are streaming, and I believe we have a good foundation set right now. And I'm hoping with the foundation we've set that by the end of this year, we've grown bigger as a community, and hopefully in the next few years we've grown even popular on Twitch, on YouTube, and things like that, to where we could almost consider doing this more as a career.
Man, wouldn't that be great? That's the
Yeah,
dream, right?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe one day, I do have hopes. Maybe this could be like a full-time thing
Hmm.
because, out of all the things I do invest my time in, like, this is one of the more enjoyable things
Yeah,
I'm doing. Yeah.
because with the Sidemen, they do so much more than just what they used to do. That what they used to do was just they just played games together. But now, like, if you look at their YouTube, it's a whole bunch of like random stuff, and they have three different YouTube channels, maybe four at this point, and all of them have over millions of subscribers.
Right. And, like, some of them still stream FIFA and still put
Hmm.
out FIFA content, right?
Yeah, Mini Mentor, I think, might be the only one still who, I think he's the only one who does it consistently.
Okay.
I don't really see much of Toby. Zerka usually does GTA and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I think content wise, Mini Mentor, I think, streams the most and puts out the most, because I think he has his own schedule with what he puts out,
Mhm.
and he just stays on it the whole time.
Yeah, and then, like, for them when they were doing FIFA, it's like more like pack openings, like
Hmm.
not so much in depth like FIFA content, like player reviews
Yeah.
or content review, stuff like that.
Yeah, for all of them, I would say yes to that. Mini Mentor kind of does that, but most of what he's been doing a few different things actually on FIFA.
Okay.
Like, he's got his road to David Beckham, where
Okay.
he's just I mean, every year he picks some icon that he's trying to work towards.
Okay.
Um, and then of course he'll use two accounts. One account is just for pure and utter content, packs, all those kind of things, and then he has his David Beckham account, to where he will open packs if he wins.
Yeah.
And then just recently, I think a few months ago, he started a career mode player, but his viewers control what happens with his player.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So like I've watched a few of his,
Uh-huh.
and some of the things that I've seen is just like his player plays striker, and he would ask his chat. I'm pretty sure there'd be like a poll in there as well, asking him like what should he do, or what does the chat want. Excuse me, what does the chat want him to do? A lot of the times, like by the end of the season or mid season, they wanted him to get transferred to a
Okay.
different team.
Uh-huh.
And within his first in game year, he was at 4 different teams.
Uh-huh.
So I just think it's funny because they kind of decide where he goes, and they also decide whether or not he accepts the contract to that team or not.
Got it. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, and that makes it a little bit more interactive with your viewers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, I know like KSI was like one of the first guys, right? He was like early on FIFA content creator.
Yeah, KSI was. I think he was one of the. I. It's hard because I wasn't watching FIFA all the way back then, but he was one of the first ones I heard about. Mostly like because it was him and Rhoda, because they would
Okay.
play games like uh back in the day, like pink slips, where you could actually like put a player on the line, and if you lost, you have to give that player up to the other person that you just lost to,
Mm.
and things like that. And then I think a lot of people watch JJ just because of his rage, in all honesty. Same with Rhoda.
Hmm.
Like yes, they did their pack numbers, but when they played, like they would get like if they were losing badly, they would get so unbelievably angry that KSI would throw his controller, start smacking his desk. Rhoda would
Hmm.
be throwing a controller, throwing a chair, whatever was in his sight, he would throw basically.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've actually never watched FIFA content early on. I think I really started in FIFA 20. That's when I got like exposed to this world.
Mm-hmm. Cause I started playing FIFA Ultimate Team and FIFA 15,
Hmm.
I believe. Yeah, FIFA 15 is when I got into Ultimate Team. There was a time period in FIFA 12 where when they started FIFA Ultimate Team, to where I tried it, but I wasn't very much into it. I was doing more of just regular online divisions, to where you like pick any team you want and play whoever.
Right. Yeah, that's actually how I started off too in FIFA 20, just playing seasons, and then
Mm-hmm.
um I like once you hit like Div 1, you get kind of bored, so you're like I
Because
just came
there's nothing else to work towards,
exactly.
really.
So you just come across Ultimate Team, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that, I got hooked.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried in FIFA 12. I didn't understand it much. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just kind of like let it go. And then FIFA 15, I got it for Christmas. Or I got for my birthday. Was one of those, because Christmas and my birthday are like literally right next to each other. Um, I got FIFA, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna get an Ultimate Team because I think that's when I started watching YouTube content on it. I was
Hmm.
like, it looks a lot of fun. I know what I'm doing. Well, I have a better understanding of what I want to do.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've just been playing Ultimate Team, getting better at it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so I want to ask a little bit more about your personal life. Um,
Okay.
do you mind disclosing where you live? Like what state? You don't have to
Uh,
disclose like the city or anything, but it's up
no,
to
that's
you.
no problem. I
Yeah,
live in Norfolk, Virginia, over on the East Coast.
right. And you told me before we went live that well, I already knew this, but you're done with your military service.
Yes, I did. I was in the Navy for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I went, I did the DEP program back in January of 2017, and I went to boot camp March of 2017.
Okay, got it. Yeah, actually, one of my close friends, he served in the military too. He was in the Navy and he was stationed in Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia is one of those one of the more older naval stations,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably one of the bigger ones as well.
Okay, got it. But he was is Norfolk more inland,
No,
or
or
is that
act,
right next is that a coastal city?
it's more of a coastal city
Okay.
because like you have Norfolk, and then we're right next to Virginia Beach as well. We're like 10, 15 minutes away.
Right. Okay, so that's my friend was there too. He was in Virginia Beach. She told me that. So,
Yeah,
but I
there's
feel
there's a few
uh-huh.
different places you could be put in Virginia.
Uh-huh. Got it. Okay. So, I know you told me you're working right now. Um, do you see yourself staying put in Virginia, or do you see I think you told me you're originally from Southern California, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from San Diego,
Uh-huh.
and as for my plans of staying here, I that is only temporary. I do not plan
Okay.
on staying in Virginia. Like Virginia is not bad. It's not. It's just not a place I see myself, staying here for the rest of my life. I'd much rather get off the East Coast and either head back to the West Coast or possibly go somewhere more south.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Maybe Texas. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, so that's like up in the air right now. You're not really sure where you want to go or
Yeah, so for right now, I'm staying in Virginia for schooling reasons,
Mm-hmm.
basically, because like I already have a place set up here. I'm really close to a few different colleges, and to me it just made more sense to stay here and work and then start going to college and working on my degree.
So how long how much longer do you think you'll stay in Virginia for like schooling?
At most, for like 3 to 4 more years
Uh-huh.
at most.
Got it.
Because I'm hoping like after I'm done with college, because I'm trying to get a degree in cybersecurity,
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
and then hopefully once I get my degree, I'll be able to find a job, hopefully somewhere a lot better than Virginia, and be able to go to whichever state they kind of need me at. Because I'm most likely gonna be looking at states like I'm probably gonna be looking at California, maybe Oregon, Texas, things like that. Maybe Colorado.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Those are some nice destinations to settle in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing about Virginia I heard recently is like driving there is pretty bad. As in like you can't go past the speed limit. Like they're really strict on that.
So it's not that they're strict. It's
Okay.
no one knows how to drive.
Really? Like what do you mean by that?
So driving in Norfolk is horrible. Like the roads are trash. There's so many like unnecessary roundabouts, turns, ramps. To where like half the time you're confused on whether or not you're, making a left, like either you're making a hard left or like a small left, or you're going straight. Like so many of the roads are confusing to where like you're like, all right, and where am I? And then the
Mm-hmm.
other thing is like we have our 4 seasons out here. We get them all. We get spring, fall, summer, and winter. And with all those seasons, we get different weather. People do not know how to drive in the rain, and people do not know how to drive in the snow.
Mm.
People drive really, really slowly, like they're almost scared of going even close to the speed limit during like weather like that. That or like trying to merge, and you'll get the person where you're trying to speed up to get ahead of them because they're still behind you, and then they'll speed up and come right next to you.
Okay.
Or you'll get like the person that stays side by side because you're hoping they'll slow down to let you in, or that they'll speed up so you can just come in behind them. But no, they'll stay at the same pace as you. There's just so many examples of how horribly these people drive over here,
Uh-huh.
to where like you have to be such a defensive driver in
Interesting.
order not to get hit or hit anyone because of their stupidity.
So, you think it's worse than California?
Oh, by far it is. It's by far it is, because I grew up in San Diego traffic for 20 years,
Yeah.
and by far this is so much worse. Like just
Interesting.
the traffic is about the same. The drivers are by far worse.
Interesting. Because Cali drivers, I mean, they usually go past the speed limit, like, and it's okay. I mean, somewhat. And then, like, people are more aggressive.
Yeah.
Cali drivers are more
Here
aggressive. Yeah.
here it's all over the place. You'll have the people too scared to go over the speed limit. You have the people who aren't scared to go over the speed limit. You have people who are too passive to like to pass somebody and will remain behind someone going 50 miles an hour. Or you'll get that person on the road that is just going 80 trying to go in between everyone in traffic.
Hmm.
So there's no middle ground. It's like almost like one or the other.
For sure. Um, so then, like, what's there to do in Virginia? Is there anything to do? Anything great about Virginia?
There's a few things. Some of them like require you to like drive an hour. There's a place called what's it called again? I can't remember what it's called, but it's an amusement park, but you can also drink beer there as well.
Okay.
Been there once. It was actually really fun. And then there's museums you can go around here. So, most of them are military museums. There's a few plant gardens as well that you can visit. We have an aquarium. There's a few beaches you can go to. We have Virginia Beach, where there's a strip, and you can go to bars or little gift shops, go to the
Okay.
beach. There's a pier we have,
Hmm.
and sometimes there'll be events out there as well. There's you have uh, mini golf as well. It's funny because they have a lot in Virginia Beach. Like they have a few like mini golf courses that you can go to that are right next to like clubs and bars.
Hmm. For sure.
What else? There's a few gun ranges out here as well that you can go to. You can go to downtown. There's a museum that you can go and see a DDG. Um, of course, there's food places to go to around here as well. One of my favorites is the Grilled Cheese Bistro, where they mostly just make grilled cheese, but oh my god, they're so good.
Hmm.
Uh, I could use one actually. Those are really good. Um, what else? I think about 2 to 3 hours. There's a racetrack as well from that you can go to that has for like NASCAR races as well.
Oh, okay. Nice.
We're like 4 or 5 hours away from DC. So if you want to go like see the Capitol or watch a hockey game, you can go up there as well.
Okay.
So there's a decent amount to do. Some of it requires some long distance driving.
For sure. Oh, we got Chris and Longshot in the chat, so dubs for them coming out. Appreciate it.
Uh, how's everyone doing today in chat?
Yeah, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for tuning in. Um, but yeah, in terms of Virginia, I mean, I've only been to like Arlington Cemetery, and then because I've been to DC like twice,
Mhm.
so I've been on that side of Virginia, but I haven't been to like Norfolk or Richmond. So thought I asked. But how are the beaches? How are the beaches compared to Cali?
Uh, they're not bad.
Okay.
It's I prefer the beaches that we have in San Diego because I just feel like there's more leniency in San Diego than there is in Virginia than there is in the beaches we have over here in Norfolk.
Dude, I really like La Jolla area. Oh my
Uh,
gosh, so nice.
yeah, La Jolla I think was one of my most favorite beaches by far.
Yeah, San Diego's so nice. I'd be willing to live down there if I could.
If only it wasn't so darn expensive.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. And I just love the Mexican food down there.
Oh, don't get me started on Mexican food,
Do you
please.
have Mexican food? Do you have good Mexican food out there?
There's some decent Mexican food here. I'm not gonna say
Okay.
good.
Okay. They don't compare to San Diego, right?
No, they do not.
Well, we've been on here for over an hour. I think it's a good time to call it a podcast. Um, anything else you want to mention? Anything you want to say to the chat or to your fans?
Um, well, no, not really. I will be live. I will be
Uh-huh.
live later on today, though. Probably the next half hour or so. I'll probably be going up on stream.
Oh, awesome. Great. How long you streaming for? And what are you going to be doing?
I think I'll probably do a few games of Rivals on the RTG. Maybe instead of maybe not Rivals, maybe the swaps instead.
Mm-hmm.
And then if Longshot is up for it, I want to hop in Elden Ring and help him get through more of the game as well. Because me and him hopped on it yesterday together, and I'm trying to get him through, helping him out.
Okay.
And there's an area that I showed him, but I haven't even gone there myself on my account. And I went down there and I explored a lot. And there's a lot that he can get from where I've gone in that same area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. So you'll stream the Elden Ring as well after FIFA?
Yeah,
Or
I'll
will that
probably
be off
do.
stream?
No, Elden Ring can be on stream because Longshot's even gotten requests to do more Elden Ring streams with me as well.
Oh, okay.
'Cause his viewers like it, but I think they like it more because how we can get smacked around. But I'm actually really good at Elden Ring,
Okay.
I don't get smacked around much.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll look to stop by. And for the viewers that don't know, where can they find you with your Twitch and social media?
So you can find me on Twitch as Valhalla or Nothing. For my Instagram, it would be Valhalla Revenant, same as my YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I believe my TikTok, however, I can't remember my TikTok, mostly because I hardly look at it. Let me double check it though, just to make sure.
Sure.
But well, that's fine. I just have it as my name. Okay. Yeah, so my TikTok is actually my first name and last name.
Okay. Which we have here on
Really?
Zoom.
Yep.
That's your full name. Okay, there you go. So we'll leave the links in the description below so you guys could check him out and support him. But Steven, thank you for doing this, man. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking to do a podcast.
Yeah, this is great. And if you could stay a little bit after we end the live session, and for everybody else that has tuned in, thank you guys so much for watching us. Hope to see you guys on the next one.